Namaste students, I am Jayoti Bhavna Verma, Assistant Professor in Vidyapeeth Women's University from Department of Science and Technology under Faculty of FE. So today we discuss on a topic that is what is computer, what are the basics of the computer and what are its operation. So today we just read about the topic basics of computer operation. So in this session we cover the basics of computer. So let us have a look on our first topic, our first session, that is computer. So what is computer? What we need, what do you understand by the term computer? So computer is an electronic device, everybody knows that. It, what does it do? It transforms the data into a meaningful information. It takes the data from us and transforms this data into a meaningful information. It processes all the input according to the set of instruction provided by the user and gives a desired output. It works on our instruction. Whatever the instruction we gave to a computer, the computer take it as an input and gives a resulted output. So what are the functions of the computer? So computer can perform the following set of functions, that is accept the data, store data, process data as desired, retrieve the store data as and when required, print the result in desired format. So firstly we need to understand what do you mean by the term data and what is information. So data is a term that is used for the raw facts and figures. Yes, it is raw facts and figures, and when we combine this facts and figure into a into something a meaningful thing, then it is called as information. So data so data is a term used for the raw facts and figures fed into the computer and along with the set of instructions which enables the computer to convert this raw data into a refined useful information. Okay, so we can say that data is a raw facts and figures which are organized in a systematic way which gives a meaningful and useful things to a user, then it is called an information. So information data is presented in useful and meaningful form is called an information. So now we read what are the computers, what are its classification. So computers are basically classified, and so computers can be classified on the basis of technology that is being used. Okay, so and by the way designed to perform the various tasks. So according to the technology and according to the performance regarding various tasks, the computer can be categorized into digital, analog and hybrid according to their working. So digital computer, these are the modern computers which are capable of processing information in discrete form. So digital, we understand the word digital, that can take the input is in the form of 0 and 1 and show in the form of 0 and 1. So here data can be represented in the form of symbols, letters, numbers, and represented in the form of binary, that is 0 and 1. Okay, so this is a basic working of digital computers, and where it is used in basic purposes. We use digital computers, that is for industries, for business, for scientific applications. Okay. Now, what do you mean by analog computer? Analog computer, these are used to process the data generated by ongoing physical process. Okay, so these generate data according to the physical processes. Example, you can understand this with the basic example of thermometer. Thermometer is also an example of analog computer because it measures the change in the mercury level continuously. Okay, according to, and analog computers are well suited to simulating system. So these analog computers are suited for simulating system. And what does simulating system does? So simulator, what do you mean by simulator? The simulator helps to conduct the experiment repeatedly in real-time environment. So by the help of simulator, we do our work repeatedly in a real-time environment. And some of the common examples of simulators are where the simulators and analog computer use. These are the example of simulators in aircraft, nuclear power plant, hydraulic and electronic networks. It is the examples where these analog computers and simulators are used. So now hybrid computer, as the term suggests, hybrid is a combination of both digital and analog. But in a hybrid computer, at a time only one system can be used. Okay, it may accept digital or may accept analog signal. Okay, hybrid computers are used as cost-effective means for complex simulators. Now coming to our next topic, that is classification of digital computers. So mostly what we use digital computers. So digital computers have also their categories along with them. So what are these categories? On the basis of the size, on the basis of the processing, on the basis of the uh, processors used. These are classified on the basis of the number of people can connect. On the basis of these digital computers which we use normally, sessions which we use are classified further. So what are firstly we understand the term microcomputer. So microcomputers are the simple personal or small computer that we use in our daily life. Okay, so these type of digital computers are uses these are the digital computers. What it uses a microprocessor, that is a CPU on a single chip. Okay, so microcomputers use microprocessor, which is a CPU on a single chip. As we know that in our simple desktop version, we have a huge CPU, but in when we see our laptop, so our laptop has a small CPU. Okay, है ना? So because it has a CPU on a single chip, so it includes both desktop and laptops. Okay, so these are being used as workstation. Where it uses a workstation for a CAD, for multimedia, and for advertising, and for application purposes. It used widely used. So these are the computers. Now these computers can work on a small volume of data and are very versatile and can handle a variety of applications. है ना? So this is the basic thing that we use in a microcomputer, because here we handle different applications, um, different programs, and are these are versatile in nature. Okay, we can done anything. We can do gaming, uh, we can make softwares, we can use simple excel and power sheets. Okay, so what are its example? These are the portable computers such as PDAs and tablets. Second one is mini computer. These computers can support multiple users working simultaneously on the same machine. These are the basic difference on mini and macro. Here multi users are supported on a single machine. Okay, and they are mainly used in an organization where the computers are installed in various departments, and these are departments are interconnected. Okay, so this is used for small business organization. This is mini computers. Next one is mainframe computer. So mainframe computers are large computer and very powerful as we compare to macro and mini, and these are very high memory capacity. Okay, so these are it have a very high memory capacity. Or what is it does, it can handle huge databases where the CNS are extremely faster. So ये कहाँ use हो रहे हैं? We use this in the for the purposes where we need to extract large data, yeah, or large information, or information from a large data, like CNS. Like we understand CNS is a term used for like जनगणना. ठीक है, तो वहां पे जहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोग हों, जैसे हम लोग जनगणना करनी है, कितने लोगों का डाटा है, कितने लोगों का आधार कार्ड ये है, इस आधार कार्ड से रिलेटेड फिंगरप्रिंट क्या है, तो ऐसी डाटा जब हमें फेच करनी होती है अपने सिस्टम से, हम वहाँ पे मेन फ्रेम कंप्यूटर यूज करते हैं. तो दीज आर लार्ज कंप्यूटर एंड मेनी पीपल कैन यूज दिस डाटा. So where they are used for big organization, for banks, for industries, and can support hundreds of simultaneously on network, hundreds of users simultaneously on the network. Next one is supercomputers. So supercomputers are fastest and very expensive computers. Okay, so these can execute billions of instructions per second. Means you can't imagine what is the speed of the supercomputers. So these are not the small computers. These have multiple processors which are connected and work as a parallel system. Okay, so these are very fast and very expensive computers. What is, though you can see the speeds like billions of instructions per second. Okay, so these supercomputer used for specific purposes. For example, these are the specialized. They use for specialized complex scientific application involving a huge amount of mathematical applications such as weather forecasting. Okay, these are the categories of classification of digital computers. Now we understand the basic term. What do you mean by the peripheral devices? So peripheral devices like external devices that are connected to your computers or your PC. So these devices are used for performing the specific function and are connected to the computer externally. So as I know, you see some input devices, some output devices are connected to your peripheral to your system. Like you connect your pen drive pen drive external to the system. You connect your mouse external to your system. Okay, so these are the peripheral devices which enables the computer to operate according to the user requirement, and these are operated according to the user. So peripheral devices are as follows, like input devices, output devices. So input devices, the devices which are used to accept input from the users. These are known as input devices. By the means of input devices, you can give input to the system. How a computer can understand that what are the instructions you want to give to the computer. So by the help of these input devices, computer can get instruction, and by the help of these output devices, a computer show the result according to an instruction to you. Okay, so input devices like mouse, according to a mouse and keyboards to give the instruction like type the word, select the task. Okay, so these are the type of input devices. Just like also touch screen, when you use it in your phone, you touch the screen and you just type with the help of touch screen, and with the help of that also you can speak and give the instruction to your computer. So by the help of these things, uh, computer can understand the input, computer can understand your instruction. So just like keyboard, mouse, light pen, optical, magnetic or magnetic scanner is it also type of input devices. Touch screen on microphone for the voices input and trackball, these are the some types of input devices. What is output devices? Output devices like where by the means of output devices, computer has shown the result to according to the instruction. So these devices return the process data, that is information, back to the user. Some of the commonly used output devices are monitor. What we show on the screens is called our output devices, just like monitor. We see our output on this monitor screen as like you are watching your screen. So you are seeing some output, some of the process data. Okay, and these are the example of output devices. Example like printers, example like plotters, example like speakers. These are the output devices. Now next one is what we understand what is basic difference between RAM and hard disk. So you can compare the RAM and hard disk because we can see the RAM is also in GB. Just like when you take your phone, you just see what is the RAM, 6 GB RAM, 2 GB is the RAM, 10 GB is the RAM. Okay, so, and what do you, when you coming to your capacity, then what do you think? Its memory is 1 TB, 2 TB, 500 GB. So you know GB for RAM, GB for hard disk. So you can compare both these two terms. So what is now comparing these two terms? What is the difference between these two terms? So RAM is an electronic device. Okay, what is hard disk? So hard disk is an electromechanical device. So what is the difference between this electromagnetic and electromechanical device? So electronic device are faster in speed. Okay, and electromechanical device has speed slower than electronic device. CPU, what we need just understand this from CPU. CPU is also an electronic device, so its speed can match up with RAM. Okay, these are same type of devices. So its speed can match up with RAM. Therefore, CPU and RAM have connection, and that connection is known as buses. So CPU and RAM have connection. Okay, these connection are can be said. These connection can be called as buses. Okay. Also, hard disk is an electromechanical device. Therefore, its speed cannot be matched by the CPU, and hence there is no connection between hard disk and CPU. Okay, CPU process the data. As we know what CPU does, CPU process the data. We give an input, CPU process is and show the output. Okay, CPU process the data, and to process that data, we need fast speed memory, which is known as RAM. Okay, so CPU, uh, so RAM helps a CPU to process the data as fast as possible. Therefore, we can say that for needing, if you need a high speed thing, then you need a high RAM. Now next is types of software. So there are categories of software, proper classification, but we just need to understand there are basic two type of software that we use on our computer, that is system software and application software. So these are the basic two different categories for system and application software. So system software, what does is system software? System software is needed for our PC because without the help of system software, we can't run our PC, we can't on our PC or laptop, because its example are Linux, Unix, and Windows. So you cannot imagine your PC without an operating system. Without You cannot imagine your phone without an Android operating system. The operating system comes under the system software. So without this software, our PC won't run. Okay, just example that is we must need a device to be operating, because system software need uh, because a PC or a device needs system software or an operating system for its working. Now next is application software. Application software, we just understand this term by help of working or on our PC. Okay, without a help of application software, our PC can be run, our PC can on. For example, these are the software that are not necessary for device to be operating. Okay, these are not necessary to operate a device. For example, we use an application or an software for Facebook or WhatsApp or games. So without help of these, our PC can run and PC can be operated. So this is the basic difference between application software and system software. So thank you. That's all for today's session. I hope you like my session. And in this session, we just read what are the types of software, difference between uh, hardware, and differences between RAM and hardware, input and output devices, and types of computers, and what are the further classification of digital computers. And these are the basic of the computer and its operation. So thank you. I hope you like my session. If you have any query, please mention in the comment box. And this session is taught by Digital Version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University.